Welcome back, and we're diving right into our best Week 10 defensive lineman waiver wire guys we can plug and play. And we're kicking off our defensive lineman list with a player who is set up to have arguably one of the better matchups this week. Listen, this particular selection is less about the Buccaneers' Yaya Diaby and more to do with the fact he is playing the New England Patriots. This is a target spot for defensive production that you simply cannot miss out on if you're looking for a plug and play. The Patriots' offensive line has been a disaster, especially over the last 2 weeks. They allowed a massive 6 sacks to the Falcons in Week 9, and before that, they gave up another 6 sacks to the Browns. And on the year, the Patriots have now given up a whopping 34 sacks, averaging nearly 4 per game. And Diaby is the player best positioned to capitalize. He's already shown his upside with 3 sacks in 2 games recently. In 8 games, he has 4 sacks, 7 tackles for a loss, 8 QB hits, and averages 3 tackles. He's also well rested after a Week 9 bye and now gets to face this hemorrhaging unit. When an above-average guy has momentum and going against a team giving up opportunities like this, it's a perfect storm. There is simply no way Diaby shouldn't come out of this game without being productive. So we're looking at it more as a lower-end DL1 plug-and-play because of his matchup this week.
Our next defensive end has always been a solid IDP veteran target, Josh Sweat of the Arizona Cardinals, who showed exactly the kind of upside he still possesses during his dominant Week 9 performance against the Dallas Cowboys. Sweat was an absolute menace in that game, recording 2 sacks and, crucially, accounting for 5 of Arizona's 9 total quarterback hits as Dak Prescott took a beating that resulted in 5 total sacks allowed by Dallas. While Sweat has been an average low-end DL1 for much of the season, he's already logged 7 total sacks and 8 tackles for a loss in 8 games, and his resurgence opens him up a bit into a solid 2-week stretch as he faces the Seattle Seahawks this week, followed by the San Francisco 49ers in Week 11, 2 of the most favorable matchups in fantasy for defensive ends right now. Our projection for Sweat is a lock for a lower-end DL1, but with significant upside considering his overall consistency, especially if he can maintain the momentum we just saw in Week 9.
And it so happens our next defensive end never really lets us sweat it out either, if you'll pardon the joke, and not related. That player is Montez Sweat, and amid trade rumors, the Bears' defensive end, who is also hitting his stride with authority at the exact right time, logging 3 sacks in his last 3 games, and again establishing himself as a key pressure specialist for Chicago. In his strong Week 9 outing against the Bengals, Sweat totaled 2 solo tackles, 1 sack, 1 tackle for loss, and 2 pass breakups, a stellar all-around stat line that doesn't even count the controversial strip sack call that was overturned. And if Sweat remains a Bear, his schedule is a dream for fantasy managers, starting this week against the New York Giants, who rank in the top 12 in allowing points off the edge and are a consistent IDP goldmine. And then the outlook gets even better in Week 11 against the Minnesota Vikings, who currently represent a top 5 DL1 matchup. Sweat is a sack-dependent option, but with this kind of volume, efficiency, and 2 highly exploitable matchups, he is one of the highest upside streaming options available this week. And that's it. That's your 3 best defensive lineman targets for Week 10, if you need the assist. We locked in Yaya for the ultimate mismatch, and the as reliable veterans, Josh and Montez Sweat, and, again, unrelated. So, hit the waiver wire now, subscribe to the channel, and tell us in the comments which defensive player you're prioritizing this week. And we'll see you again for more Week 10 IDP advice real soon.
They doubted us every step of the way, but we knew what we were capable of.